right?
Yes, that's basically.
Yeah, so I guess, what is our plan? Does anyone have
Well,
any?
I think I made a suggestion, and I don't think we should go again without awards, an award ceremony. So we're going to have to do it virtually, which I think we've proven ourselves that we can handle something like that. Because that, I don't know if you saw the candlelight vigil that they usually have outside. They did
Hmm.
it inside, and it really turned out, I think, better than the outside. It was really good. So with the help of our PR, what department are they? Are they
Communications.
communications? I think we can put on a really good show. If we could all just read the the introductions like we did just on camera, and then they would accept. And I think that would be pretty much it. We could send them a certificate instead of doing the trophy, which the ones that I've got over the years, I don't know if you guys do it, but I put them in a box and put them on the shelf, and I don't know if you guys display them, but after a while it just looks, your love me wall can only be held with so much. But
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
so that would be acceptable. Then they can hold up their little award.
Mhm.
So I don't think we should go another year without them. Do you?
Mhm.
No, I mean, there's just no good answer is the problem. It's
I,
like no matter what we decide, it's gonna not be ideal. It'll be better than nothing, but we shouldn't get discouraged that I mean, there's no secret pill here that we can find that it's
no,
gonna be as good.
and for us, it's been kind of a blessing in disguise because we've realized that we can meet pretty efficiently virtually and
Hmm.
talk to some other people, and everybody's kind of, especially with some of our subcommittee meetings or committee meetings, it's really good that we can meet like this, and hopefully the governor will extend that into an option. I don't see why you wouldn't if enough of us ask for it, but other commissions and committees are saying the same thing, and especially staff who doesn't have to lug around everything from building to building, and I mean it's really nice. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
I think the whole landscape of teleworking and
yeah.
employment is going to be changing drastically. So I can't see why they won't allow it just as an option. I mean, you have, I think Twitter went completely teleworking from here on out with their workforce. So it'd be nice if the governor did take that into consideration.
Yeah, it was good that Raj went ahead and did that phone call. We had three, I think we had three phone calls that you're allowed to phone in even prior to this, and that kind of helped too. Then you didn't have to miss the whole meeting. So, what? Yay, Raj! He did some good things.
Hmm.
Without the alleged other things. So allegedly other things.
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly. So
So how do we do this? How do we solicit candidates? Because like I'm looking at our
same way, don't you think? Just do everything the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys use the website and Facebook. Is that accurate?
We haven't used Facebook that I know of.
Mostly
Oh,
Facebook.
well, yes, that's true. Yes, we do. In our own accounts, we post. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And the city, like the police and the sheriff's office and the other city departments, they kind of know about it because I think you guys have inter departmental memos and things that go on.
And I'm guessing you guys also word of mouth to your networks and things like that. Okay.
We usually try and dig into our communities and find people.
Right. So I would assume that method, I mean, that method would still work. Probably be even easier now with so many people being online and everything being virtual. It's just probably have to get that out soon, so people, because we would require them to video themselves. So, you know, give them time to do that, and then give the communications office time to put everything together.
So, so when you back that down, what we need is a date when, since I'm looking at the timeline in the appendix here that you just published, it says that in July, we would, wait a minute. Oh, in July would be when we would distribute the application form and the guidelines.
So that would probably have to be sooner, because I'm thinking production. I'm thinking production. So we want to get this out on December 10th for International Human Rights Day. So I know, you know, when we did our video, Valerie initially was asking for a September, and you know, we had to push that up a little bit just to get everything, as many in as possible. So with this, I think September should be the goal for getting the videos from the public. But the question is, that September date that Valerie gave me was based on all, I think at the time we had 16 commissioners, all 16 commissioners getting their videos in, which means it would make them, it would call for more time for the department to put together the video. With the award ceremony, looking at because I pulled the old program, and it looks like you guys had eight recipients. Is that accurate from when?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that number, we don't have a number set in stone.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, once we set in stone a number of nominees, that would probably help Valerie get a better idea of the latest we can get it to them. So, you know, with the video last year, we were talking 16 videos September. With less, I'm guessing it's gonna be less than 16 for the award. So we may be able to push it to October. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to get some ideas out as for where our starting point for, or our focal point, I should say, for the timeline.
Right.
So you want to back it up 2 months?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think we definitely need feedback from Valerie, but if we have something to give her, she could work with that to let us know if like October is a good time, or September, or, you know, going back depending on their workload, and then what the full body of the video that we want to produce.
Yeah, I think we have to work pretty fast, which I think we can.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think we started in enough time to because if September is let's just make September the potential date for submission to communications office. September, from now to September, that's plenty of time.
Right, because I think we'll try again, like we always do, to get all the commissioners on the camera and have a roll or a part, and then read, and then that's going to be in addition to the recipients accepting their little video.
Exactly. And I'm assuming, because I'm once again looking at the program from the 25th annual awards ceremony, and thinking about the homeless visual, you want to start it out with, of course, welcome from Sylvia, and then remarks. Do you want to have a keynote speaker, or just do welcome from Sylvia, remarks from the mayor, and then go into the recipients?
Yeah, I'm not sure about a keynote speaker for this thing. I think it might be best to skip. What do you guys think?
Well, I think somebody that is inspirational would be a good choice.
Short, if it was short enough.
Short, yeah. Short. And,
yeah.
I think speakers draw attendance.
That's true.
Sometimes, yeah, it depends on, like we said before, I asked, talked to Lucci about it several months ago, and he said he thought we could do a good, nice program. And I said, you know,
He
speaker.
said, what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I asked Bellucci a while back what he thought about it, and because he really liked our video, and well, and I don't know, maybe he and the mayor have been part of the program before, so we should probably include them as something. And I don't know if that would suffice as a I guess, well, maybe they're just introductions. How long a program do we want to have? A 2-hour program? I think that's another thing, is keeping somebody's attention. What do you
No,
think?
definitely
hours
not
is
2
too long.
hours.
No,
Definitely
no,
not
no.
2 hours.
I mean, hour max.
So then maybe we really don't want to.
Because you
Somebody
could do.
remarked by the mayor and you would be appropriate. And somebody that gives you an inspiration quote, I think, not political actually, but somebody community wise. I mean, that is my opinion.
I was thinking do the welcome, keynote speaker, remarks from the mayor, and then recognition of honorees. And each honoree would be introduced by a commissioner. Or if a Councilman Bucci wants to be one of those introductees, we can do that too. And then closing remarks.
Yeah, he has to be something.
Okay.
Because we've always had the 2 liaisons. Shannon Kane used to be at all the programs on stage. So yeah, our 2 liaisons, the mayor, and just luckily the mayor is one of the other liaisons.
The mayor could do the welcome, and maybe Michael could do basically, you know, the
remarks,
the awards or something. I mean, the explanation of the awards of the program. You know, why is the program there, and then.
And then Sylvia could be maybe the first person to introduce the first nominee, and then go from there. You know, who wants to?
Yeah, just second. Yeah.
Okay.
And we can still do 2 commissioners at a time, so that everybody gets on. Read half and half, or do whatever they.
Oh yeah, like maybe a split screen.
Yeah. I think that might be good.
Have one commissioner say one part, and then the second commissioner come in, and then I can see that being possible.
And then the recipient or recipients saying something. I think that's going to be probably the most challenging, is to get the recipients to record themselves and keep their acceptance low.
Agree, but at the same time, I like to be optimistic and think that, you know, with everything that's going on right now with COVID, I think people have gotten very used to Zoom meetings and doing FaceTime with families and recording themselves. So I think we're kind of in a habit of that. So it may not get too much pushback from it. So. And I think people would appreciate that we're still doing the ceremony, but being conscious of the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic. And even though, you know, come December, hopefully, things will be slowed down, you know, very much. I'm sure people are still going to be cautious and wary and that kind of thing. So.
Oh yes, of course. And
so I think they'll be appreciative of the method that we're going to that we're doing this ceremony in a virtual setting and want to participate. So but like I said, that's me being optimistic.
That's what we all have to be.
Yeah.
I think that's a good plan. So the timeline, we need to get the award application out as soon as possible.
So I pulled up what I guess you guys have used in previous years. Here, let me share my screen.
Looks like it just needs a few edits on the dates.
Exactly. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the app. Is this the application?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not the
And-
one we used, it's not the one we used last time.
Oh,
26.
yeah, I guess this is
Okay.
one that got edited before. I think Sarah might have edited this, but so there's a different one.
Hold on, it may be that I'm looking at a fillable form and it looks different.
Oh, you see like blue,
Yeah.
boxes? Yeah, that's the fillable form. Okay.
Same thing, same thing.
Okay. Yep. So this is the application, and then I located the evaluation form. I guess this is what you guys use to vote.
Yep.
Yep.
Oops, my glasses just fell. And then for this one, we're gonna need to do the creative brief for the communications office. So I just want to pull that up so you guys can see that. And that's something I can fill out and then send to you guys, and you can review it, and then we can send it on to Valerie.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
And the other part of this is we'll be meeting virtually as a group, as the committee, and then that has to go into closed session.
Right. And I don't see that. I'm like, so
That's not a problem.
right, that wouldn't be a problem at all. It'd just be, once again, the timeline. We just need to know
Right.
when we have to get these videos in, so then we can kind of spread everything else out. As far as the closed session, the submission deadline for the submission of the nominees, and then the closed session for the commission to vote on the nominees.
Right now.
Sylvia. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and that's the question too, is do we want to just combine the whole commission for the selection of, have everybody go through them and do it one time in closed session? Or do you want to, again, filter it through? Because I think there was one, well, there was a couple of complaints that not all the commissioners saw. We used to give that whole stack, and then they have no time to really go through them. But then that's the time they can, I guess, argue the point, yes or no. Do we want to just try and do it all at one time with the whole commission? Well, the whole commission that might show up.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How does the process work? Because I've never seen that. So how does that closed session work? 'Cause I know it happens the same day as, typically it happens the same day as the ceremony. And you guys, 'cause I've seen pictures, you guys go into another room. Is that what happens?
No.
No. Oh.
No.
So how does it happen?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, a committee such as the size of this one-ish reviews all of the applications. We fill out the rating scale on each of them. We all do this quietly, and then we have discussion as to just questions about it, and then we come to consensus at the end of that sitting, the ones that we have selected to move forward to the whole commission for approval.
Okay. And then the closed session, what happens in that closed session?
The closed session is we open the discussion, and then we have to vote individually to go into closed session to accept it. And everyone has a copy of all of the, not just the ones that we suggested. We give them the list that we suggested, and then they go through them. In the past, sometimes they don't get them until the day of the closed session, which doesn't give them time to look it over. And there have been people that have complained about that. So
Okay.
I get their drift. They don't get to see it. I said, well, you can always volunteer to be on the committee. The one thing different about here is that we have to go into closed session because otherwise it's going to be recorded.
Yeah.
So we have to do it as a small group and go into closed session where, and just read all the laws, and then the recording stops. We go into closed session, and then we do our thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, Rod, and Rod said he would help with that. So okay, I just wanted to understand how the process goes.
And speaking of Rod, I know that BJ has already asked me about the awards. She's going to nominate Rod, so we need to talk about him when he's not around. of whether or not we all think that he's eligible and should be. You know how I feel. Personally, he's been way over the top of stepping outside his normal duties. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff for us that he does. I had he's Judge Blow now, but I had Randy Blow, and he was a great guy. You remember him, but I mean, he was not at our beck and call like Rod has been. So I don't want. He's going to be around for these closed meetings. So we have to kind of decide about him on the sly.
Okay. So I'm looking at how many videos we are gonna have, and how many videos the communications office is gonna have to compile. So we have. You guys still want to do the 8 nominees?
We can't pick a number right now. That's what you said.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I understand.
I mean, we
Right.
could say we're only giving 4 awards, but I don't think that would fly.
no.
And actually, because you don't know, basically, members of the commission sometimes nominate people that they know are doing different things in the community. So depending on, the nominations, then we decide whether we accept a certain number or not. Because if we cut ourselves at the beginning, it may be, yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand. So it's not a set number. It's all just depending on what you guys decide.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, because I'm just trying to think what kind of kind of basic number I can give to Valerie to get
An idea.
idea. Yeah. Or maybe I can just speak to her and just get a general feel.
Right. And since we missed last year, we're making more awards than normal. Maybe not. We may not have as many. So we know. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I would say. I know it seems a lot. What's the most we'd had? Like it's been in the teens.
Right, and that's what I'm like, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, what's the most that I could give her?
I wouldn't think we'd have more than 20, and that's a lot. So I'd say somewhere between 10 and 20. You think a safe bet?
So if I can share what people are doing online with awards, organizations such as the Women of Distinction with the YWCA, Equality Virginia, they all have between 6 and 8 awardees only. And that's what they've been doing because we're virtual in that way. So, I mean, it's something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to throw out a number. So I'm just going to just kind of use the template from the last actual awards, which was a total of 8. So with 8 nominees, an introduction video from commissioners each, that's 16, and then closing remarks, opening remarks, keynote speaker, and welcoming. So that's 16, 17, 18. So we're talking potentially 20 videos. So I want to give that to Valerie, and then I'm pretty sure from there she can give us a more solid idea of when we need to have the videos and by.
Right. Also, normally in the past, we would have, I think if we'd gone ahead with our regular awards last year, certainly we would have acknowledged in some way, not necessarily given awards, but we would have acknowledged both our chiefs who have left, both give me help, Zaccaro and Severa. And even though it's late, it's never too late to acknowledge. I mean, it was, and Beatrice, she knows with the history. If it had not been for them, we would not have a relationship with the police department or the sheriff's office. Sheriff got an award last year, the whole department, but just to recognize briefly, give them a chance to say a couple of words, that they had spent so many years building this relationship with us. Because when we started out as a Human Rights Commission, police and the Human Rights Commission were adversaries. We were not their good friend. So it, to their credit, they've worked really hard on a lot of issues and a lot of these small splinter groups that they've done. So I think they deserve some recognition, and we need to find out if, even if it's a letter of appreciation or something more than we did with the private one that we gave to them, but make a public statement. You guys can think about it, but I think it's worthwhile.
Okay. So timeline. So development of a timeline.
Yes.
So do we want to just get on top of getting the form out as soon as possible?
I think so.
Okay.
What's today?
Today is the 18th. But the thing is, like, what kind of deadline we want to give people to get it into us by?
Oh, I'm looking at the last form from 2019. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. July. I think we gave them, we gave 4 weeks.
Okay. So I need to just change one date in this, and then I can send this out tomorrow. So 4 weeks from that is, looking at March 19th to have it in, maybe bump it to March 22nd, that Monday.
Okay. And what I know is difficult for me and anybody else who has a nominee is to get the 2 extra letters of support. Are we still going to go with the 2 extra letters of support? It's our decision.
I'm thinking 4 weeks is not long enough.
Okay.
Beatrice, what do you think? We lost her.
I think she went away.
So, yeah, I think she said she was going to be doing stuff, and she got herself muted and her video off.
Just a quick comment. I think 8 awardees is a lot to do via Zoom, potentially. So I'd be okay with attempting to target less. If we end up with more, great. But I don't think we should shoot for 8 and stretch it.
Okay.
And we need to run, we can suggest that. We need to run that past everybody, and we don't have to wait until the our next meeting is when?
The 11th.
March 11th. I guess that's, well, if we get we're not even going to get everybody in. And I 4 weeks is tight, but if you want to keep it down to the number down, that might be, there's only the 31st of March is only a week and 10 days after. So we could do from March 31st, and then if we run this past the rest of the commission about the timeline and how many we think, and we've never had a limit before. And when I was off, I know they changed it to very few. But I don't know that we'll get that many.
Yeah, so if we put the due date like end of March, that it gives us April to do selection and then May to announce it to the commission. And that puts us 2 months ahead of our last schedule. So that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, March 31st. So we'll say they have till March 31st.
Okay.
It is tough getting those 2 letters of support. And do we want 2? Is 1 enough? Is none? How do you guys feel about that? That was something new that was added.
Do you want to change it and put 1 to 2 letters of support? Is that too nebulous?
No, it's fine with me because I mean, we've selected people in the past with 2 letters, and it depends on, you know, okay, we've made some boo-boos in the past, and 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 given awards, and so I'm not sure the value of the 2 extra letters if the nomination is good enough. Maybe 1 or 2 letters of, I don't know.
David, what do you think?
I think 1 is fine because we're usually getting we're usually getting the nomination from someone on the committee. So like we have them vouching for them.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go with that suggestion.
Yeah, I agree with David. Let's simplify the process for this year at least.
It's difficult. It's like pulling teeth trying to get that second letter, especially, or the first letter even, you know. Unless we have the letter come from a second, there's no rule that it can't come from another commissioner, right? A commissioner can also support the.
We've never accepted a commissioner's letter. I mean, so that's not been our practice. But I don't see, I'm open to it.
It's kind of like what David said, you know, there's a commissioner vouching for it. If another commissioner says yes, like I said, I'm open to anything, but I think at least take it down to 1 letter of support.
David and B, what do you think about a commissioner's letter being accepted also?
Yeah, that is, I mean, that is good in my opinion.
But not the commissioner that like nominated them, right? A second commissioner.
Right.
Yeah.
Second commissioner.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's almost more valuable, you know, than some random person.
Yeah, see, I have a problem with it because what I got out of the letters was an outside perspective from the community on the folks. And, you know, like if I put somebody up and I write their letter, it's so biased because that's my selection. And then
No, but it would have to be someone else's letter. It couldn't be, you couldn't nominate and write the letter. It'd have to be a second commissioner's letter.
If the other commissioner even knew that person or what they were doing in their community. And
right.
Well, yeah, I would hope that if a commissioner was going to write a letter, it wouldn't just be like a favor, you know, they would know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, but then I can see the public perceiving it as like, you know, 2 commissioners are friends nominated.
Yeah.
One of their friends.
It feels political to me. It feels kind of incestuous.
Yeah, long time ago though, people didn't have letters and they just nominated, and the majority of the nominations came from the commission because we didn't have enough people submitting nominations.
What do you think about this? You know, on a resume, you put references.
There you go.
And then if we don't know enough, we can call somebody and talk to them about how this person made an impact.
Bingo, I like that best. Because, you know, let's see, let's pick somebody. We gave Terrell an award last year. Well, you know, he kind of comes with his own, everybody knows him. So I don't know what 2 letters we had, but
yeah,
I agree. References are good.
Yeah.
It could be, because we have, since we have employees of the city that can be nominated now and other things. I think I like the reference. How about you, David? Does it sound good to you, a reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of
2 letters.
2 letters, it'll be, is it 2 references?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 references with phone numbers and contact
information. Yeah.
So no letters, you're saying?
Yeah, that's the hardest.
So we're gonna change the form, I guess.
Yeah. And references, I mean, they could give us an email address too, and then they can just type up a little thing and be
True.
like, hey, this is what
True.
I think about that person. So it'd be
I think that I like that better. I mean, do you foresee members of the committee making now phone calls to other people and engaging in conversations?
Absolutely. I do. Actually, I do, because I mean, I hired people for 20 years, 30 years. I was in the hiring business, and I always called the references, as opposed to, just getting a person on the phone, because I got
Yeah, well,
burned. I got burned
in-
not calling them one time.
In my opinion, I think emailing seems more practical, because actually whatever you get in writing, it's more specific than the subjective interpretation that you give to the phone call.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. And I feel that that serves to also include information on the description that we are going to have on the introduction, or how you, that is my opinion. But anyway.
And these references again are going to be in case we don't have enough information, right? Okay.
Yeah, I do like the email. It's like a more up-to-date version of the letter that
Yeah.
people
I
can-
agree. And it is more professional, more detached, in my opinion, and gives the opportunity to the person to actually say something in their own words. Otherwise, I feel that the commissioners are going to be having to have a script so that we can ask the same questions, so that it could be fair. And then, whatever you bring back is subjective. Basically, it's whatever you understood, whatever you heard, and so forth. This is not like a job interview. That's totally different.
Okay, so we've gone from no letters to references, and if we need the reference, then we'll go back and ask for the email. Is that right? Is that what we're
So
saying?
the reference they submit should include phone and email.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. So the dates are March 31st for the deadline that everyone has to get their nominations in. And then May is when we would meet. It's not all. Yeah, are you saying, Ginger? Are you saying May that we get together the whole commission, and April we get together as a?
April, we select.
April is our meeting, committee meeting, and then May we present to the commission.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So April is review of applicants, of candidates, and selection by the committee.
Okay.
And I, for one, am still the ribbons for the police are still escape me. There aren't any ribbons for the sheriff's department. If the sheriff puts someone forward and we select them, they get an award. If we put a police person forward for an award, last time we've been given them ribbons, and I was supposed to get with Jim before he left, Severa, and Zakar and I, everything happened and we never got together to discuss that. But I still think we need some clarification on that. I'll try and get with Billy Zelms or Witchenthal, because the police were confused, I was confused, and it's not, there's a disparity between the sheriff's office and the police since they don't get a ribbon.
What do you think about it? I mean, it's not up to us to make it equitable. If they have a system, then we just need to fall into their system. Why can't Dominique simply call both departments and say, what's your process for awards? and ask what both of them are, then bring it back to us and then we figure that out.
Well, and that's great, except that before we had the ribbon just really threw something in there. The ribbon was great in one respect, and also what's happened from the police department is that if you get an award, they've been giving the ribbon. And the last time we did it, we said these are ribbons and there were no police awards. And that kind of, made the police department goes, well, last year, and this was told to me by the police, there is a sheriff up on the stage and ours is behind where were my guys? Why weren't my guys up there? Well, they got ribbons, which is presented like you and I went to that little award ceremony just for the police department. So, and then I asked the female Captain Richenthal, we have 2 Captain Richenthals now, and she had put in for an award. She was upset that they didn't get an award and they just got a ribbon. And she said when she got her award, she automatically got a ribbon, which that makes sense. But it's our ribbon. And so we do have a responsibility to give them guidelines as well as, I mean, we can say that they were in for an award, but we can't just take the police and put them in a pile and say they get ribbons.
Okay, well, we've been arguing about this for 2 years. Let's finish it.
Okay. I think the ribbon needs to come from within the department. And the only thing, I have no idea how all this got started, why it got started, but it's great that they get to wear it on the uniform. I noticed Zakar didn't have one on, Jim didn't have one on, but it's great for their thing. But it has to come, that's a military thing. It has to come from within the ranks. And I think Raj was pushing to also have that with the EMS and EVMS and all that other good stuff. But our awards should be our awards. And if the police want to bring something to us in the form of a ribbon, then they should do so. But it needs to be a different process than our awards. We shouldn't be looking at a police as, well, we can give them a ribbon. And then the sheriff, I think it is our responsibility for equity. It's the responsibility that if the police put forward someone, Richenthal did, for an award, that they should be considered for an award, not automatically given a ribbon. So that's what's been happening, at least as reported to me. And we probably need to have a meeting, have a police officer at the next meeting, maybe, or a special meeting with them for us all to discuss. But it just doesn't feel, it didn't feel right. And I didn't have an answer. For Captain Richenthal. I didn't know what to tell her, except that I'm sorry that they didn't get an award.
Well, Sylvia, you just solved it in what you said. You said, yes, you did. Our awards will be our awards.
Right.
We won't get involved in whatever process the law enforcement has. So our awards are our awards, period. Done.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I mean, I just, yeah, I like that. Especially with a new police chief who probably would, even if he has, it was Gallagher that was doing most of the selections anyway, from what I could tell. Is he still around? He's still here. He didn't leave, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. If that's good for you guys, we can suggest that to our whole of the commission. But I think that's a good idea. If that's good with you, does that sound good with you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I think we have a good starting point for the timeline from May forward. We just need to figure out, well, when with the commission says, okay, we're good with these as of May, is that when you would have the closed session to make the final selection?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
would we want to have, so the closed session would happen within the same meeting, or we would have to have a second meeting?
We have to have 2 closed meetings unless, I just had suggested or asked, do you want to have it just everybody all together with all of the things in one closed session where the whole commission looks over everything, votes, and then we go forward? Or do you like having the small group weed them out, present what we thought, and then have them, we'd have to get them the copies or someplace to go look at the copies way ahead of time so they can review them.
Okay. But I'm just wondering when when the closed session happens. It happens after the presentation to the commission?
No, it is the presentation to the
Okay,
commission.
that is the closed session. Gotcha. Okay.
We also have to have a closed session if we decide that, that's what I was asking. Just for this meeting in April, when we meet to select, that also has to go into closed session because
Okay.
otherwise it'll be recorded for the public to see and hear.
Gotcha.
And we're
Gotcha.
talking about people that could, possibly offend them or hurt their feelings. So
After the May meeting, we'll have decided who is going to be the recipients. So then we can go out to the people and say, hey, can you take this video of yourself, and then go with, okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
But both April and May have to be closed.
Right. So I'm just thinking about moving forward with the timeline, because then the timeline switches to production. And I would say give them a month to get us their video. How do you guys think about that, or more than that?
It would be a gallery.
Okay, yeah, okay, right. So that's what I'm thinking now. Am I getting to a point where we need Valerie's input now before we continue on with the timeline?
Yeah.
I think that the technical things you can just roll with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So next up, I need to get in with Valerie and kind of pitch this to her and see what she says. So looking back on the program, the keynote speaker, we'd still want to do that, correct?
I think so.
Okay.
If we
So
can find one that's
so as a action item after this meeting, do you guys want to kind of start brainstorming potential keynote speakers, people you would have a great message to give to the community?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
But let's don't contact them yet. Okay.
Right, exactly. We're just kind of brainstorming and putting options
Right.
out there. Yeah, for certain. Yep, go back in your Rolodex or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever you think would be a good keynote speaker. Okay.
To throw
So,
an idea out there, I just wanted to see what you think of inviting Janice Underwood, the first officer for equity and inclusion in the state, and I think she has been working a lot on COVID and fighting to make sure the communities are inclusive and so forth. So she has knowledge of a whole range of things, and I think her voice as the first ever person in the state would be really not only valuable, but I think it would attract also viewers from even outside our area.
that's a good option. Yeah.
Good suggestion.
Okay.
Okay. And we're okay with certificates, so we don't have to worry about delivering trophies or anything, just a certificate for framing.
I wanted to suggest one more thing. Since this is virtual, I think people would appreciate a certificate and a videotaping of the program for, basically like a disc where you can, you can gift them with a memory that is lasting. I think that would be a thoughtful thing to do. But I don't know what the budget would be, but let's ask. I think that given the fact that we are living in a very different situation, I think that would be good.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a good idea rather than spend the money on anything else.
Yeah.
And I can't see that being very costly. I mean, it's just putting it on a disc.
Yep. Yeah.
We are saving a lot of money on food this year.
Hey, but we have to celebrate. Don't cut that out. Whatever we do
I
at the end
know.
of this whole thing, we deserve to get together and
Yeah.
celebrate.
We do. You know, I was wondering too about when we do our videos. I wish there was like have an elegant background or
A background, maybe they can put because I think that would involve with green, they call them green screens or whatever. So
screens. Yeah,
but still, then again, I'm no expert in
I'm not even-
cinematography or anything like that, so there's who knows what they can do, and maybe something they could
yeah.
plug in.
If you don't mind asking her that, because if we can actually get dressed from the top up
Mhm.
and look like it's a real gala. You know, I don't
Right, exactly.
like Rod when he had his shirt and tie on and his Bermuda shorts last summer. It was cute.
Okay.
Janet Underwood.
All right. So
We're good to go.
yeah, so I guess like I said, action items. I will get with Valerie and pitch her what we're thinking, see what our final production deadline would be for them to put together these videos. And then brainstorming and keynote speaker. We have one option of Dr. Underwood, and if you guys want to look and think about someone else that we could potentially do, or just go with her, we can make that decision from this point on.
Kamala Harris.
That would be awesome.
Michelle Obama.
That would be awesome.
That would be really great.
You laugh. I'm trying to clean up my office. I found the letter where one year we asked Bill Clinton to be our keynote speaker, and he sent a very nice letter back and said, well, his staff did, and said he couldn't make it. But yeah, I mean, with her, that wasn't hurt to ask, but I don't think we're going to get her.
You might get a letter. That'd be nice.
Although since we're doing it virtually,
and you never know.
You never know.
Yeah. Beatrice, you said no one political, but what about like Senator Kane? I mean, I'm pretty sure I could get him to do something. I mean, I got him to come to Pride.
Yeah, likewise here.
Yeah, he's like Senator Kane.
And he is really a person that has really pushed for inclusivity in Virginia. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, Underwood is not a candidate for any office, and I love Tim Kaine. When we had Joe Montana, who passed away, who was his aide. He came to small gatherings at the cultural center with 5 people. He's so sweet. I love him to death, but I don't know how we'd be perceived as.
Yeah, never mind.
I'd love to have him, but Janet seems unstamped as either one, even though she's with this administration. But
it'll definitely be seen as
yeah,
if people want to see it as political, they're going to see it as political with her.
Well, that's true. You think Janet Underwood would? Did people know her well enough to?
They'll look her up. It's Google. Google.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, who's this person?" So okay, I guess we just need to brainstorm some little more on the keynote speakers. So like I said, action items, I'm going to talk to Valerie, brainstorm keynote speakers, and then I need to update the application to put 2 references as opposed to the endorsement letters.
And get that nomination out as soon as you get that done, right?
Exactly. And I want to get that to you guys, look at tomorrow. So you can just give it an okay and I can send it out. And we're going to put deadline of March 31st to have those applications in. Okay, so with that in mind, our next meeting, when do we want to do that? Because I want to be able to come back with an answer from Valerie. Maybe she'll be able to join our meeting. And then the keynote speaker.
All right, why do we need a next meeting yet if we don't have work to do? we have put everything in motion. Could you not just inform us what Valerie says?
Sure, I can do that. I just didn't know if you guys wanted to do a meeting, but I can definitely just do it.
I agree with Ginger.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I bet you are.
Even though we're virtual, it's still meeting out.
Yes.
Okay, that is absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. Okay. And the same thing with the brainstorm for keynote speakers. We can trade those through email as well. All right.
Right.
So it's like we got a plan. Yay.
Hey.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay then.
Good job.
Team break.
Thank you, everyone.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you guys have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
If I
Likewise.
don't talk to you again, I'll have a good weekend.
Oh, that's right. It's Thursday.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Good night.
You
You're
guys,
welcome.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Good job.